I just want to start off by asking you about one of your colleagues. Senator Mitch McConnell is fundraising off the impeachment inquiry, saying the only way to stop impeachment is if he is the Senate Majority Leader. If he doesn't bring it to a full trial, a significant trial in the Senate, do you think impeachment is still a worthwhile endeavor? And if so, why?
I believe that this is a moment where every member of the United States Congress should take very seriously their oath to protect the Constitution of the United States. This is about defending our democracy and our system of justice, because the framers imagined a moment like this, Katie, where there would be an abuse of power by one branch of government, and so purposely they designed a democracy understanding for it to be real and true. There should be checks and balances on any excessive display of power, which means in this case, where the executive branch, meaning the president, has abused his power, Congress, the other co-equal, independent branch of government, must provide the check and the balance on that abuse. And that means beginning an inquiry to expose exactly what happened so that there can be accountability and consequence. This is a matter of defending the very democracy that makes us and allows us to walk into rooms around the globe and have a respect, because imperfect though we may be, we actually understand the importance of not having authoritarian regimes.
The White House readout of the call, I'm sure you've read that. I know you read the text messages that were released by the Democrats last week. I know you know that the White House is stonewalling and handing over documents. If the vote was put to you today, I know this is an if, to convict the president in the Senate and remove him from office, would you be voting yes?
Yes, based on everything I've seen, yes. I mean, look, Katie, you know, listen, I'm a former prosecutor. And let me just tell you, as far as I'm concerned, the main subject of the impeachment, which is the issue of yet again, Donald Trump eliciting help from a foreign government to interfere in our election of our president of the United States. In this case, we've basically got a confession. We've got a display of consciousness of guilt, an attempt to cover up. You know, I don't know how much more we need, but apparently there's a second whistleblower, so we're going to get more. But based on everything we know, including an admission by this president, I don't know that that it leads in any other direction except to vote yes, which is what I believe I will do based on everything I know.
You're in Iowa today. How much are folks talking about this on the campaign trail?
People are talking about it, and I think that the reason is that overall, over the last 2.5 years, people have been feeling a deal of skepticism and concern about the integrity of our government. And a large part of it has to do with the displays, such as what we're seeing in the last 24 hours, by members of the Congress and Donald Trump. And what they are saying is that they want to know that there's going to be accountability and consequence. What they want to know is there is integrity in our government and its leaders. And so this is a pervasive feeling that is expressed at the town halls I do, at the meetings that I do. I just had dinner with a family here in Iowa last night. And it's something that is weighing on people. And frankly, people are exhausted. People are exhausted. They want to know that our government has integrity and that leaders are leading in a way that address the issues that wake people up in the middle of the night, such as health care, the need to have a meaningful education for their children, the ability for them to get through the end of the month and not have to take out a $400 loan from a payday lender. That's what people want. They want to be able to believe that the government has integrity so it can deal with the issues that wake people up every morning.
Well, let's talk about your campaign and what you're trying to focus on. You've reinvested in Iowa. You've opened 10 new campaign offices there. You were, as you said, at someone's house last night making dinner with the family. I don't know if that kid there liked that salad dressing in the end. I will say mustard is always a good addition to salad dressing. But I wonder if you feel like in the beginning of your campaign that you maybe miscalculated how much Iowa was necessary. Is that why you're focusing again? And if so, what are you trying to do there to get voters to recognize you, to know who you are and know what your message is?
So it was always the plan that after Labor Day we would double our resources. And so whereas before we had about 60 people on the ground in Iowa, today we have 130. We have opened offices throughout the state. And you probably heard I'm practically moving to Iowa because, of course, Iowa is the first in the country, and the people here have the ability and a proven ability to really help America see what is possible, even if we've never seen it before. There's so much about how I'm talking about our campaign that is about knowing that it is Iowa that made a decision that Barack Obama could be the nominee, that Hillary Clinton could be the nominee. And, you know, Katie, I'm at the point of my campaign where I have to tell you, it's all about real talk. And I'm aware that, you know, one of the elephants or the donkey in the room is people asking, well, is she electable? Is America ready for that? And I'm in Iowa talking to folks knowing that they have always had the ability to see what can be unburdened by what has been. So it's great to be here, and I really enjoy being here, and I'm spending a lot of time here.
Well, let's talk about how you convince them that you're electable. Right now, you're not high up in the polling. You have a ways to go before you catch up with Warren or Bernie or Biden or even Pete Buttigieg. And I think all of them, the way that they've gone out about their campaigns is offering either big structural change or something of a return to moderation, the normalcy of previous Democratic administrations. Where do you fit in there? Are you offering big structural change, or are you more a return to normalcy? And do you have to choose one in this race?
I think it is a false choice. And here's the thing. When I talk to people at the town halls and the meetings that we do where hundreds and thousands of people have come, has never been the case that someone raises their hand and says, you know, the thing that wakes me up in the middle of the night is this debate about socialism versus capitalism. That's not what is waking people up in the middle of the night. They want to know we have a plan, as I do, for what will be the most significant middle-class tax cut we've had in generations, which is for families that make less than $100,000 a year to give them a tax credit of up to $6,000 a year. They want to know that we're focused on the fact that in Iowa and so many states, our teachers are working 2 and 3 jobs because they are paid 11% less than similarly educated professionals, which is why my plan is for the first time in our nation's history to put a federal investment to close the teacher pay gap. On average, that's $13,500 a year. This is why people are showing up and why they are supporting my candidacy, because they know that, first of all, we are not going to win by further dividing the country around where you are on some ideological spectrum. People want to know that you see that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And that's how I come at this campaign. And also knowing I have a unique ability, I believe, to unify our country. I've lived in many places, I've lived in many cultures, and I know that in spite of these powerful forces, including Donald Trump, that's trying to sow hate and division among us, I know that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And that appears to be a message that Iowans and people around the country care about. They want to hear, they want to know that after all of the exhaustion over these last couple of years, that we can unify and then address the issues that challenge us.
Senator, before we go, I just want to get your take on this new agenda that you've released today, the Children's Justice Agenda. You want to eliminate child poverty by 50% through an executive order. You also have a paid parental leave plan where you're going to give both parents, mothers, fathers, partners, 6 months paid leave. And you're going to fund that in part by employer and employee payroll tax, also a tax on the 1% and fines for corporations who don't comply. You don't put a price on this plan. And you don't say how much you'll raise through those taxes. Can you give us some numbers?
Yeah, I can, but let me. It's about approximately $600 billion, which, when you do the math, it is a great return on the investment. Because, frankly, Katie, a large part of my campaign and my perspective is that in 2020, justice is on the ballot, and it is everything from having a crook in the White House to justice being on the ballot when the average American family is a $400 unexpected expense away from complete upheaval. Justice is on the ballot when working families in America know that their natural desire to parent their children may be a function of how much money they make every month, and that should never be the case. So my plan, my children's plan, is about saying, look, this is a matter of justice. It's a matter of recognizing that on the issue of raising the children of America, it should not be that the people who make a lot of money get the support, and those who are working hard every day are having to go back to work after 2 weeks after childbirth. That's crazy.
I think there's a lot of agreement about that. I personally think it's insane to go back to work after 2 weeks when you've just had a child. But there's going to be a lot of pushback from folks out there who say that they don't want to pay a payroll tax to support somebody else taking a leave off to be with their family for either a sickness or something else. And there are also others who say that it's going to be too much of a burden on a small business. You say you'll help small businesses with paid family leave. How are you going to do that? I want to get some specifics.
Okay, fine. Let's get to specifics, but let's also talk about a very specific matter, which is that I believe you should judge a society based on how it treats its children. And the United States of America is failing in that regard, and in particular the children of working families. So how are we going to pay for it? It is about a payroll tax. It is for employees. It's going to be less than $2 a week, by the way. But it
so
also
it's like
is going to be about
proposal.
It is similar, and I have nothing but praise for Kirsten for being a real champion on this issue for many years. So a lot of it is similar to hers, but then adding on, for example, that the extension will be for 6-month paid family leave, and it will be about also saying that we need to recognize that this is not only about parents that want to take care of their youngest children and from childbirth on, but also what so many of us, including myself, have done, which is to take time to take care of an ailing parent, a parent who has cancer. And the bottom line here is this. We're talking about a return on the investment. California has done this. 9 out of 10 employers, including small business owners, are supportive of this kind of approach because it makes for a more productive workforce. What we know is by doing this, 6 months paid family leave, more women will be in the workforce because of it. And the GDP will grow by 5% at least. So it is short-sighted for the critics to say, oh, how much is this going to cost, without them recognizing that the return on investment makes the cost absolutely worth it, not to mention the moral cost of not supporting families with their natural desire to parent their children at the earliest stages of life. So this is about what is not only the morally right thing to do, it makes economic sense, both in terms of the numbers equal out, but actually we will see a growth in GDP with this kind of approach.
Senator Kamala Harris, good luck with that proposal. We appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Katie. Take care.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.